Hey everybody, I just wanted to come on. I've been meaning to sit down with you guys and to have just a little nail vlog. And I know I usually get caught up working with the nail stuff, and then I forget to approach these particular topics that I really want to talk about. And we're going to talk about the hardest ones first. So let's see, how do I want to approach this? So I'm going to kind of give examples from my own life, and then you guys, either you've experienced them already and you can relate, or if you haven't experienced them already, maybe they can help you not to experience them through your own ways, but better yet, to learn from someone else. These are all topics that I have heard before, and for some reason, I just didn't think that was going to be my experience, but we're going to talk about it. So the first one I want to talk about is knowing your own limits. So for example, so I knew when I was going through nail school that I have, health issues, and that probably, so I'm just kind of putting stuff away as I'm talking here. But so I knew that probably, like, the way that my nail future was going to kind of look was going to be very different than a lot of other people's. Like, I know I have limitations as far as like, I probably wouldn't be able to do more than like 1 or 2 clients a day, and probably like a max of probably 4 or 5 clients a week. So I already knew that kind of going into it, but somewhere along the way, I guess probably in the midst of not wanting to turn anyone down, because I'm struggling so bad, like creating clients through my home nail service business. I didn't want to turn anybody away. So anybody, like friends, family, I only have a couple clients right now, but anybody that wanted something done, I was just like, yes, I can do it. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I can do it. Because I didn't want to say no to anybody, because I'm trying to build clientele. And even if it was like, friend or families that you're doing, complimentary in return for, the experience, photos, or just so that way they can wear your nail art, and if someone asks, they can hand out your business information. I think these are all great ideas. It's just, I heard so many people say, don't do that because it's just going to cause problems with relationships and things like that. I haven't had that experience, but I do see what they're talking about. I can see what they're talking about, because you don't want to say no, because you do want to build the clientele, because you're trying real hard to do that. But I set myself up, because of that, I set myself up for, I'm not going to say failure, because I was able to do the nail art and I got it done. However, I took a ridiculous amount of time. And even if I was charging somebody for taking that long of service, I wouldn't charge them, because nobody wants to sit in a chair that long to get their nails done. Just let's say that, okay? I mean, it took hours. And I was happy with the way they turned out. I thought they were really pretty, and I'm sure they liked them too. It's just, if they didn't say anything about how long it took, it's just, I have a problem with it, because I just don't want to be like that. So what I learned is to know your limits. If it's something, even if it looks like easy nail art, but you've never done it before, because you're, just starting out, I feel like it is best to say no, and maybe to say no, but then to give them the option of, well, here's 10 different nail looks that I can do, and maybe you might like one of these, but these are the ones that I feel confident that I can do, that I know the errors that could arise and how to fix them. That way I can continue to focus on getting faster, because that's something that I personally am focused on. So that kind of goes with knowing your limits, and also knowing when you need to say no. The second thing that kind of goes along with that is, so recently I did 2 in one day, and it was going fine. And I mean, it was taking up forever, okay, forever, literally. I can't even tell you guys how long it took because I would be so embarrassed that that's how long it took. But in the midst of doing that, I pushed myself really hard, and I didn't feel it at the time. But after it was all over with, I crashed for like 4 days, I want to say. I literally got in the bed and crashed. And I just was beat, like, and it was not just physically beat, I was like mentally beat as well for some reason. Probably because I didn't know I hadn't asked anybody what they wanted to do. And so everything was a surprise when it came to me, like in that moment. And I had to kind of think, and then things were going wrong. And then I had to figure out how to fix them. And it just took forever. And that, I kind of feel like that defeats myself. Like I set myself up to be defeated. And I just don't think that's a good situation for anybody. I can see how that affected me in a bad way, but also I can see how it affects them, because that's a lot of their time that they're having to sit there, because you can't even really guesstimate how long it's going to take you, because things are coming up like during the nails, during the session. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about that kind of goes along with that, and I touched on it just a little bit, is I do think it's wise to create try different nail arts. Pick 10 that like you really like and that you're somewhat good at, that you've practiced several times, and show your clients. And then maybe you tell them, we could do this look but in the colors that you want to do it in. Change little things like that. That way you're kind of compromising with them, but you're staying true to where you are at in your learning process. I think that's really, really key and important. And as much as you don't want to say no or I can't do that, because I know we don't want to say that, and it might be something that looks really, really simple, but when you're just learning, that's just not a situation to put anybody in. If that sounds, it's just a bad situation to be in, and I think that could cause problems, is what I'm saying. The other thing is, so every time that somebody wants to come and get their nails done, I always forget, well, I haven't created a form yet, but I need to put together a form, where we can have a consult and talk about, do they have any allergies? What kind of nails do they like to use? What kind of nail art are they looking for? Do I have the products that they need, that they're gonna need or want? Because that's a big one. I ran into that situation too, where somebody came and they wanted something done, and when I showed them what I had, I didn't have any of the colors that they wanted to use. And that was embarrassing to me, and then I also felt bad for them, because, that puts them in an awkward position too, to be like, oh, you don't have it, So I was able, in that moment, I was able to like figure out a solution for us, but those are going to be things that come up, and I would just rather like to know ahead of time. That way I can tell them, and we can figure out what we're going to do before the day of the appointment. So I do think it's really important to get your list together and to, text it to them or send it to them, email it to them, whatever, or sit down and have that conversation with them either on the phone or in person. I think that's really important, and that's something I need to do. I'm going to get that together actually this weekend, because I need to start doing that. The other thing that I ran into was, I'm trying to think of exactly how to say this. Let's see. So I had like one person that picked some nail art and a nail style that I don't do. I've never done. I don't particularly like. I don't look at a lot of pictures on those type of nails because I'm just not into them. And it's not that there was an ugly nail by any means. It's just I'm not familiar. I know that style. I just don't prefer that style. I don't really like that style. So when they came in and they wanted me to kind of help them create, a set of nails in like this particular kind of style, it was hard because that's not something I'm used to. And I feel like the suggestion and ideas that I had for those